Unit 21 Socio-Cultural Factors and Administration. Society consists of many interdependent and interacting parts. Administration is one such interdependent and interacting part of the society. Administration, which is expected to administer the affairs of the society through government and semi-government agencies, has meaning only in the context of social setting. The administrators are drawn from the society. They bring with them the social values they acquire through the socialization process in the social institutions like school, family, association, religion, etc. The socio-cultural factors greatly influence the nature of administration. The administrative behavior is influenced by the values cherished by that society. Fred W. Riggs and many others analyzed the interactions and the interrelation between society and administration through the ecological approach to the study of administration. The ecological approach emphasizes the importance of dynamic interaction between social environment and administration. In this unit, we shall be discussing the main features of the Indian social structure and culture and their impact on Indian administration. Main features of social structures and impact on administration. A society is a collection of people who are sufficiently organized to create conditions necessary to live together with a common identification. It is an organized network of social interactions and patterned behavior. Every society has its own identity based on the nature of its social institutions. India has a rich cultural heritage and is a land of diversities. The diversity in social life is reflected in multi-social, multilingual, religious, and multi-caste nature of the society. The important features of the Indian social structure are predominant rural habitation in small villages, multi-religious and multi-caste social identities, and important role of family in the social life. We shall have a detailed discussion on these institutions and their impact on administration in the following sections. Rural habitations. Rural habitation. India is a land of villages. A great majority of villages are small with only around 500 population each. Mahatma Gandhi's views that India lives in villages still holds good, at least from the demographic point of view. The village social life has its own peculiar characteristics. Stanley J. Higginbotham Stanley J. Higginbotham in his book Cultures in Conflict 1975 discusses in detail the nature of village life and its influence on the nature of bureaucracy. The village social life norms strengthen the authoritarian and hierarchical norms in administration. The village social life, which is based on the hierarchical exchange relations, greatly influence the behavior of civil servants in public organizations. The differences in the social background of majority of citizens who are poor, illiterate, rural based and tradition bound, and that of majority of civil servants who are urban, middle class and well educated results in conflicts and contradiction in the interests and values of citizens and civil servants. The rural base of Indian society has many implications for the development administration. Many studies have indicated urban bias in the behavior of administrators. This results in a cultural gap between the administration and rural people. For administration to be effective, it must appreciate and respond to the socio-cultural ethos of the rural population. Religion. Historically, India has been hospitable to numerous groups of immigrants from different parts of Asia and Europe. People of all religions have been living in India for many centuries. The Constitution declares India to be a secular state. The state is expected to treat all the religions equally. The Constitution also gives protection to minorities. The Constitution recognizes religion as a fundamental right and a citizen can pursue the religion of his choice. However, in reality, communalism is one of the major threats to the unity and the integrity of the country. In recent years, the communal organizations have become very active in social life, resulting in communal clashes in different parts of the country. Some vested interests are using religion for their selfish purposes and are fanning hatred among the communities. The communal disharmony tests the strength of the administration in maintaining law and order and social harmony. Among the religious groups, administration has to check disruptive communal activities and maintain social and political stability. Unfortunately, in recent years, we also hear the allegations of divisions in the civil services based on communal factors. The role played by some state police forces during the communal disturbances in some parts of the country brings no credit for the state police administration. The political necessity of appeasing each religious sections may result in sacrificing rationality in administration. Caste. The Hindu society is known for its Varna and caste system. The society is broadly divided into four orders or Varna on functional basis, namely Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra. The scheduled castes are outside the Varna scheme. Each Varna may be divided into different horizontal strata, and each strata is known as caste. The caste system creates a. Segmental division of society. B. Hierarchy. C. Restrictions on social interactions. D. Civic and religious disparities and privileges of different sections. E. Restriction on choice of occupation. And F. Restriction on marriage. Though caste is essentially a Hindu institution, some elements of caste are found in every religious group in India. The caste system based on birth creates divisions in the society and contributes to the social and economic inequalities. A section of people were treated as untouchables and they were exploited by upper castes in the society. In recent years, we find some change in the nature and role of the caste system. The role of the caste is changing. We find that the influence of caste in interpersonal and social relationship is decreasing, but paradoxically, its role in political process is increasing. The caste is being increasingly used for political mobilization. This has an adverse effect on the working of political and administrative institutions. Formation of informal groups on caste lines among the public services is another developing phenomenon. This affects the homogeneity of the public services. Realizing the existence of egalitarian social system, the Constitution has provided for preferential treatment to scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes in public services. In recent years, we find many agitations for and against the reservation in public services. Paradoxically, it is found that the preferential treatment system designed to bring equality is a cause of internal tensions in the public organizations. In a social situation of primordial loyalties, the administrative institutions based on universalistic principles are subjected to a lot of stress and strain. The administrator must understand the dynamics of caste loyalties and caste sensibilities to play the role of an effective change agent. Family. The joint family was considered as one of the three pillars of Indian social structure. The other two being the caste and the village community. Family is an important social unit, and in a country like India, the family loyalties are very strong. Traditionally in India, the joint family system played an important role as a social and economic institution. The social norms expect the subordination of individual interests to that of family. However, in recent years, the joint family system is giving way to the nuclear family system. Still, the emotional ties of extended family continues to play an important role in the social life. Pat- Patriarchy dominates the family. The head of the family is usually the father or the eldest male member. Women generally occupy a subordinate position. The structure and operation of family has many implications on administrative system. The paternalistic and authoritarian structure of the family life is partly responsible for the paternalistic and authoritarian behavioral orientations of the administrators. The socialization process in the family influences the attitude formation of the administrator. The family loyalties may also result in sacrifice of values like impartiality, integrity, and universality in administration. Many administrators may feel it natural to help their family members by using their administrative positions. Many studies have pointed out the presence of family orientation of helping one's relatives in administration. Culture and administration. Culture refers to a way of life. It includes the entire gamut of modes of expression and communication as well as the system of values and beliefs governing the society. Values refer to preferences, that is, ideas of God, good or bad, desirable or undesirable. Culture determines what is desirable conduct and behavior for the members of the society. The culture of a society is a result of long process of evolution and is reflected in the social, economic and political institutions. The administrative behavior in the society is influenced to a greater extent by the values cherished by the society. Riggs stated that every culture offers both support and obstacles to change or development. There are values that support change and development. Likewise, there are values which obstruct the change and development. These values are termed by David Apter as instrumental and consummatory, respectively. A society having instrumental values becomes modernized. If the civil servants have instrumental values, they will definitely work towards the development of the society. V. Subramaniam, writing on Hindu values and administrative behavior, emphasized the importance of study of values developed by the administrative structures vis-a-vis the values of surrounding society. He talks about Hindu values. Since majority of the IS recruits are Hindus, Subramaniam identified three elements in the Hindu tradition which work against the rational decision making. To put in his own words, in the first place, a decision is basically choosing between a number of mutually exclusive alternatives, and basic Hindu approach is to deny the existence of such alternatives. Secondly, a decision means a choice of a course of action with a view to taking that course of action immediately. It is also implied in the Western meaning of decision that the difficulties in that particular course of action have all have all been taken into account in making a decision in favor of it. The average Hindu idea of a decision is, however, more akin to the English phrase pious resolution. The continuous and undignified waiting we hear in India from planners, politicians, and administrators alike about policies being good and their execution being bad is essentially a product of a particular Indian meaning attached to the term decision. Indeed, the average Hindu mind is so thoroughly reconciled to an impossible distance between percept and practice and between ideal and reality that it naturally imports this distance to separate decision and execution, a distance which does not exist in Western interpretations of the term. Thirdly, a decision or choice means listing the various alternatives in a particular order of preference and, if possible, covering these ordinal list of preferences into a cardinal list of quantified values of each. The Hindu mind always indulges in talking of very large numbers, such as yugas, By using such large numbers casually, the small differences that are most important in day to day decisions are made to look meaningless. Many studies were undertaken to identify the cultural moorings of Indians, which result in a particular way of behavior of administrators. Administrators perceive reality on the basis of their experience, much of which they see depend upon how they see, which in turn depends on their socio-economic origins. They are insensitive to the problems of the common man and have a sense of superiority, which emanate from their upper class background. Richard Taub found in his study as how the typical tendencies like the tendency for any group of people to divide into smaller groups on the basis of particularistic ties, the lack of trust and reluctance to delegate authority. The ideology of the caste system is think of human relations in hierarchical terms, and traditions of reference towards authority, etc., have caused a particular pattern of behavior among the bureaucrats. The cultural factors have various implications for the administrative processes like motivation, communication, and authority. Number one, motivation. Many studies on human motivation identified culture as one of the determining factors in motivation. McClelland has convincingly argued that due to culture, religious beliefs, and class structure, the general population in many countries many countries tend to have a fairly low achievement drive, whereas in other countries it may be the other way around. In India, the karma philosophy, with its emphasis on other world, may be considered as one of the inhibiting factor in the achievement orientation of bureaucracy. In the words of G.P. Chattopadhyay, the Indian personality by and large is incapable of behaving in a mature and mutually dependent way. He fantasizes omnipotence if he is in a position of perceived power, which reduces others to dependent positions, or he feels important when the faces people who have greater power and believes that he is utterly dependent on them. Fatalism blunts achievement orientation among Indian managers, makes them feel helpless in shaping their environment, and makes them highly dependent on authority figures. Second, communication. Communication may be described as the process of transferring concepts, ideas, thoughts, and feelings among the people. Communication process is culture. The one-way process of communication, mostly from top to bottom, in our organizations is also a reflection of social culture. In universalistic cultures, people low in status may have no inhibition in speaking against or mentioning unpleasant things to the superiors, whereas in particularistic cultures it may be treated impolite and silence may be preferred. Authority. Attitude to authority is also a reflection of cultural variables. In a feudal society, authority attains the status of divinity. Authority figures are treated as sacred objects. Their conduct and behavior are above scrutiny. This attitude not only legitimizes the authority structure but also ensures personal loyalties of the lower levels of organization in total disregard of abilities and actions of persons in authority. In public organizations, it may lead to certain dysfunctions like growth of personality cult, or personal goals of authorities may gain priority over the organizational goals. In this cultural situation, benevolent, paternalistic management style may pay rich dividends more dividends more than participative leadership style, which may be appreciated only in egalitarian and an open society. Indian culture depends demands that people higher in status should be addressed with reference and unpleasant things should not be mentioned before them. It becomes very difficult for the people at lower levels in organization to give correct information or opinion if they feel that it may be unpalatable to those in authority. The public organizations are considered merely as an extension of the personalities of their chief executives. This may also sometimes result in practice of sycophancy in public organizations. Summary. In this unit, we have discussed about the main features of Indian social structure and their impact on Indian administration. We also discussed about the interactions between culture and administration. The discussion in this unit brings out the interrelationship between the socio-cultural factors and the administration. It is because of this important pattern of social structure, culture and ecology that some outside or foreign experts, when called upon to perform certain administrative tasks, face different difficulties. Thus, it is a prerequisite for one to understand the socio-cultural context that influences the administrative system.